unmanned eye that can stay aloft for hours. An INS Malwan is designed to hunt submarines in shallow coastal waters. How do you stop a swarm of drones? That is where Bhargavastra comes in. India's indigenous counter-drone system is designed to detect and deal with unmanned aerial threats, including multiple drones approaching a protected area. But the threat is not always in the sky. Out at sea, India needs warships that can see first. Commissioned this year, Mahendragiri is the sixth project 17A stealth frigate to join the Indian Navy. Mahendragiri's design is intended to reduce its signature, making it harder for an adversary to detect and track. Developed by the Aeronautical Development Establishment, Rustam is an indigenous family of medium-altitude, long-endurance unmanned aerial vehicles developed for the Indian Armed Forces. Commissioned in July 2026 at Karwar, INS Malwan is the second Mahi-class anti-submarine warfare shallow watercraft to join the Indian Navy. Built by Cochin Shipyard, the vessel has more than 80% indigenous content, a sign of how much of the technology and engineering behind India's naval capability is now being developed and integrated at home.
Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching Gravitas. I'm Molly Gambhir. Let's get started. Our top focus tonight on Gravitas. We decode for you Trump's great retreat. From bombing Iran to Stone Age, as he said, to porous sanctions, we are decoding this great retreat by Donald Trump, who is caught in a trap of his own making. That's coming up shortly. Also on the show for you tonight, as the Russia-Ukraine war enters yet another dangerous phase, Ukrainian intelligence now claiming Moscow has received a powerful North Korean missile capable of carrying a warhead weighing up to 2,500 kilograms. We are decoding the implications for you. A detailed report coming up on how Asim Munir now has greater powers and a lot more control over the Pakistan army. Israel's far-right National Security Minister has released a video showing what he says is the construction of a new death row and hanging facility for convicted Palestinians. As different parts of India witness a rise in H1N1 cases and other influenza-like illnesses, we tell you all that you need to know. India has developed a new smart cancer drug. Can it replace chemotherapy? All this and a lot more coming up. Tonight, we are telling you all about the story of Trump's great retreat. It's hard to keep track of Trump's somersault moves. His list of U-turns as far as the Iran war is concerned is long, and we could spend the entire show and beyond talking about it. But we are telling you about how his moves on Iran have jumped from bombing the country, wanting to take it back to the Stone Ages, as he claimed, to now calling for an economic war. But will this work? The thing is, Iran has spent a lot of time with sanctions, remember? It's far too familiar with them. The country has also weathered near continuous punishing economic sanctions for nearly 50 years. It has spent a lot of time dealing with them. So will this strategy work? What's clear right now, though, is that Trump is making a retreat. America's stockpile wars have left him in a fix. His approval ratings have taken a hit. He might pretend to not care about any of this, but then who's buying that? And so he's forced to shift gears. Nearly 6 months after US President Donald Trump vowed a swift victory over Iran, prospects of even a negotiated settlement continue to grow dimmer. And to try and break this deadlock, Trump has vowed what he calls an economic D-Day, under which any country that does business with Iran would face what he calls tremendous economic consequences. Let's just recap for you and tell you more about what he had earlier declared. He earlier warned of economic consequences against any country that provided any type of lifeline to Iran. He also said, "No one has given the Islamic Republic of Iran a greater opportunity to make a deal than me. Tragically for them," he goes on to say, "they have failed to take it. Therefore, today I am announcing the most crushing economic operation." That's what he had said earlier, saying that this was the most crushing economic operation ever taken against any country. This will be economic warfare and isolation on an unprecedented scale. That's what he claimed earlier. But then Iran, let's tell you how it has reacted so far. It has said that its response to any new US threats would be quote-unquote devastating after Washington pledged to impose the toughest financial penalties in history with the aim of toppling the Iranian leadership earlier. In fact, the chief of staff of Iran's armed forces has said the Islamic Republic's reaction would be broad and decisive. Meanwhile, let's tell you what the US Treasury Secretary has said. He echoed Trump's warnings basically and urged China to join the campaign. He warned that America will target countries and companies that continue to buy Iranian oil, transfer money, or conduct business with Tehran. Let's just play out for you an excerpt from that.
We are confident that everyone wants the Strait reopened and for energy prices to come back down. And sir, keep in mind that the Chinese get 50%, 50, the other energy from the Gulf. So it would do them a big service to get with the program.
So how exactly has China reacted? It has rejected US President Donald Trump's threat to impose sweeping economic penalties on countries that continue doing business with Iran, saying sanctions and pressure will not resolve the conflict. So that, in a way, is the latest addition to Trump's mountain of woes, and it is growing taller day by day. Just look at how the US Navy, for example, has also been grappling with the impact of the Iran war and its consequences. The Asia-based USS George Washington aircraft carrier, now operating in West Asia, relieving the long-deployed carrier USS Abraham Lincoln, following reports of mental health challenges and supply shortages aboard while it was supporting the Iran war. In fact, the US Central Command has said that the carrier arrived in the region on Wednesday. Let me just explain this to you. The US Navy basically is repositioning its assets amid the ongoing conflict in West Asia. And the USS George Washington arrived in the Arabian Sea, replacing the USS Abraham Lincoln, which is heading home after more than 250 days at sea. And by the way, the USS Gerald R. Ford also left the region early this year, remember. So with 2 US warships withdrawn, a new one deployed to West Asia now, questions have been raised, serious ones, over whether the US Navy is facing a strategic setback in the region. According to the US Central Command, the George Washington arrival is part of a scheduled deployment, with the Lincoln now heading home. America will be left without an aircraft carrier in the Western Pacific, basically. And this move comes even as Washington continues to describe the Indo-Pacific as a major strategic priority. Adding to these concerns was the USS Gerald R. Ford also leaving the region earlier, and this prompted questions over whether the US Navy is reducing its presence in West Asia. At the same time, Washington remains focused on keeping the strategically vital Strait of Hormuz open. The waterway, of course, is vital to global trade, to say the least. Although fighting had recently paused, Iran has continued to assert its influence over that crucial waterway. And all of these developments, the alleged situation on board USS Abraham Lincoln, also triggered serious concern and a number of questions over constraints, the overall impact, and the challenges. and added to the growing signs of military strain, which have led to concern over US deterrence abilities in other arenas. Meanwhile, the number of US service members injured since the start of the Iran war has passed 750, according to the Defense Department's war casualty database reportedly. Meanwhile, Americans' depleting patience as far as the Iran war handling is concerned, combined with the depleting stockpile, it's a nightmarish combination for the US president. Add to that mix his own dipping ratings. So this great retreat of Donald Trump also seems to be a sign of frustration that other options have so far not delivered the results he wanted. It's yet another attempt at trying to exert economic pressure. On Thursday, in fact, the first casualty appeared to be US markets. So Trump has been under pressure to end the war with the high fuel prices, dragging down his ratings, potentially also threatening his Republican Party's control of the Congress in the midterm elections in November. Tightening sanctions entails other risks as well, especially to the US allies in the Gulf, some of whose energy facilities and desalination plants, remember, they depend on for drinking water, have also come under Iranian attack. Trump probably hoped that North Korea would help as far as the Iran quagmire is concerned. But remember, we told you how his overtures there also seem to have fallen flat. Pyongyang is pretty much signaling that don't impress it much, to the extent that it is looking embarrassing in a way for Trump. So while he might try harder there, it's hard to say if there will be any light at the end of that tunnel for him. As of now, he stands cornered from pretty much all sides. Forced to retreat, running out of time and options. His last resort is to try and exert economic pressure, but will it work? This is the final push, it seems, that he badly wants to see working. Shifting focus now to the other war unfolding. In fact, a new missile threat may be moving closer to Ukraine as Kiev struggles to stop Russia's ballistic strikes. Ukrainian intelligence saying Moscow has received a powerful North Korean missile capable of carrying a warhead weighing up to 2,500 kilograms. And this comes a day after Ukraine says 16 people were killed in Russian missile attacks on Kiev. Our next report, getting you the latest updates from the battlefield and decoding these developments.
Ukraine is facing one of the most critical moments of the war. Russia continues to launch targeted attacks on Kyiv. For months, Western supplied air defense systems shielded major cities from aerial bombardment. Now, critical stockpiles of Patriot interceptor missiles have run out. Ukrainian cities stand dangerously exposed as Moscow unleashes devastating retaliatory waves for Ukraine's deep drone strikes inside Russian territory. On the ground, it is the ordinary Ukrainians who are suffering.
We heard the air raid siren, I got out of bed, went into the children's room, and there was an explosion straight away. 3 in quick succession. The windows were blown out, and bricks flew up to our flat on the 8th floor. It nearly killed my husband. It landed about 30 centimeters away from him. The door was blown off its hinges. Well, that sort of thing.
The missile fell over there, far away, and there was a small fire there, a small one. If the firefighters had arrived and put it out, none of this would have happened. But unfortunately, the fire started sometime between 1 and 2 o'clock. I don't know the exact time. And the people who arrived later, the owners of the other stalls, said that the emergency services came to put out the fire at around 5 a.m.
Yet Ukrainian intelligence officials warn that the worst may be yet to come. According to the Defense Intelligence of Ukraine, Russia has taken delivery of the KN-30, a terrifying new North Korean ballistic missile. Intelligence assessments reveal this monster weapon carries a colossal 2,500 kilogram warhead, dwarfing previous ballistic arsenals. Ukrainian commanders fear this new weapon gives Moscow unprecedented demolition power against fortified targets and critical infrastructure. The KN-30 represents a dramatic leap in military hardware transfers between the two allied nations. While neither Moscow nor Pyongyang has officially confirmed the weapon's delivery, North Korean troops have already deployed on the front lines to fight alongside Russian forces. With Patriot missile batteries exhausted and 0 interceptors left on standby, Kyiv faces an existential air defense crisis. The arrival of North Korea's heaviest warhead yet, along with the massive Russian stockpile, signals a brutal new chapter in aerial warfare, leaving Ukrainian cities bracing for impact. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
On to a Gravitas special report. Bangladesh is open to joining the new defense and economic framework involving Saudi Arabia, Pakistan and Turkey. The Foreign Affairs advisor, that's what he has said, stressing that any decision would be guided solely by the country's national interests. In fact, in an interview published on Thursday, he told the state-run BSS news agency that Dhaka maintains a positive approach towards the possibility of joining an economic or defense framework involving Saudi Arabia, Pakistan and Turkey. Those comments coming amid a broader recalibration of Bangladesh's foreign policy under the government of Prime Minister Tariq Rahman, remember? Openness to the Mecca framework, reflecting Dhaka's willingness to explore diversified partnerships at a time of shifting global trade and security alignments. No formal invitation or timeline for Bangladesh's potential involvement has been announced so far. One major question here also, should India be worried? The Ministry of External Affairs maintains its position that it is closely monitoring the developments in West Asia. Listen to this.
We continue to closely follow developments that are happening in West Asia. This is what I have to say at this point in time.
This joint defense agreement, the Mecca joint defense agreement, remember, was signed by Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Turkey. Under the pact, an armed attack against one member is to be treated as an attack against all three. Bangladesh Foreign Affairs advisor now saying Dhaka is open to joining the framework while taking into account its own interests and changes in the global economy and trade. Also, he said Bangladesh's relations with China have reached what he described a new height, with Dhaka seeking deeper engagement with Beijing while avoiding geopolitical pressure. Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Turkey have joined hands under that new trilateral defense agreement aimed at strengthening regional security. The pact commits the three countries to collective defense, with an attack on one considered a threat to all. Not just that, it also covers military cooperation, intelligence sharing, joint exercises, training and defense technology, creating a closer strategic partnership among the three countries. And on relations with India, Humayun Kabir said there was no justification for rushing into a top-level visit that goes beyond Bangladesh's national interest. Bangladesh has not announced a decision to join the Mecca Pact. Its position remains that any such move would be considered in light of the country's interests and the evolving regional and global environment. For now, Bangladesh has kept the possibility open while continuing to assess its foreign policy, security and economic priorities. Let's now also take a quick look at the global headlines at this hour, taking you around the world in 120 seconds.
Turkey has issued an international arrest warrant for Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as part of an investigation into Israel's interception of an aid flotilla for Gaza. Finland's Foreign Affairs Ministry summons Russia's ambassador and requests an explanation after a Russian IL-20 reconnaissance plane was suspected of having violated Finnish airspace on Thursday. Delhi police registered an FIR in the case of a 19-year-old student protester who suffered pellet gun injuries during the July 20 march on Parliament after Rahul Gandhi staged a sit-in outside a Delhi police station. South African police have uncovered a major crystal meth laboratory on the border with Zimbabwe and rounded up several foreign nationals, including 2 Mexicans. China and Indonesia agree to boost military ties and work closely on minerals, energy and technology as Jakarta seeks to balance ties with both Beijing and Washington amid tensions. About 20,000 Pakistanis deported from Gulf countries between March 1st and July 13th this year for numerous reasons, including overstaying, begging, illegal entries, drugs, refused asylum, forged documentation, and security reasons, among others. Britain's National Weather Agency warns that this year's El Niño weather pattern will be the biggest in over a century and could make 2027 the hottest year globally.
Amid growing questions over the legitimacy of Pakistan's hybrid regime, Asim Munir has now moved to crush any possible challenge from within the military. In fact, despite protests from the opposition, Pakistan's National Assembly has cleared a bill which basically gives Asim Munir powers akin to a dictator. Let's tell you why this is happening. Even as Pakistan has an existing national security advisor, the new Defence Forces of Pakistan bill, which basically makes Munir the principal military advisor to Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif on national security as well as defence. He will have complete operational command and control of the armed forces. In an unprecedented power grab, Munir can now retire, discharge, or retain any personnel from the Army, Navy or Air Force without any due process. He will also have authority over the newly established Defence Forces headquarters. While Pakistan's elected government has virtually taken a back seat in the last few years, Munir has emerged as the diplomatic and military face of Pakistan on the global stage. For instance, he has taken the lead on the negotiations between Iran and the US. He also entered US President Donald Trump's good books in a way, who, remember, described him as his favorite field marshal. But Munir's rise to power was anything but smooth. In June 2019, you remember, he was sacked as the ISI chief barely 8 months into his tenure by the then Prime Minister Imran Khan. But then his fortunes turned in a way after Khan was ousted as Prime Minister in 2022. And in November that year, Munir was appointed as the army chief for a period of 3 years. In 2024, the Pakistan government amended its laws to increase the tenure of all 3 services chiefs to 5 years. In May 2025, meanwhile, he was promoted as a field marshal despite Pakistan suffering a humiliating setback in Operation Sindoor. That's not all. Munir's powers increased manifold in November last year when Pakistan's parliament passed the 27th constitutional amendment. As a result, he became the country's first chief of defence forces, basically getting control over the Air Force and the Navy as well. He also got lifetime immunity from criminal prosecution in his capacity as the field marshal. Not just that, his original tenure was reset after his appointment as the CDF. So he will now retire in 2030 and will be eligible for a 5-year extension, potentially extending his career till 2035 in a way. Now, Munir's latest power grab also coming at a time when Imran Khan received that big relief from Pakistan's Supreme Court. Remember, while the court ordered his transfer from Lahore's Adiala jail to Islamabad's Shifa International Hospital, the government filed a review petition. Subsequently, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf revealed that the cricketer-turned-politician was taken for a brief checkup to the government-run Pakistan Institute of Medical Sciences and transported back to jail. And his sister, Uzma Khan, alleging that he was being tortured in jail by isolating him allegedly from family members and other prisoners and denying him access to newspapers and television allegedly. At the same time, she confirmed that his eyes are okay. Meanwhile, PTI has decided to file a contempt of court petition over the government's failure to implement the Supreme Court order. Listen to this.
The judges will have to decide whether the courts in Pakistan will effectively be shut down or whether action will be taken against those who have committed contempt of court and failed to comply with court orders. Until those orders are enforced, Pakistanis will ask why they should obey the law if powerful individuals can ignore the rulings of the judiciary.
Ironically, while Munir has been focused on curbing political dissent in a way, the Pakistan Army has been found wanting in its core domain, with the security worsening. From Balochistan to Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, just look at what's been happening on the ground. However, with Munir's increasing control over pretty much all facets, it increasingly appears that Pakistan remains a parliamentary democracy only on paper. US Secretary of War Pete Hegseth has been facing intense criticism for the protracted Iran war over the growing strain on troops, depleted weapon stockpiles, and now there's a fresh challenge. His wife, Jennifer Hegseth's alleged influence inside the Pentagon is drawing a lot of attention and scrutiny. And her role came under the lens reportedly last year when the Wall Street Journal reported that she attended 2 meetings in which rather sensitive information was discussed. In February 2025, she was reportedly present at a meeting with the NATO defense ministers. After the US decided to cut off military intelligence sharing with Ukraine. That's not all. According to the report, she was present at the March 6 meeting with the UK's then Secretary of Defense, John Healey, and head of Britain's armed forces. And this triggered a lot of curiosity, as she is not a formal employee of the US Department of War. And apart from that, she was also reportedly part of a Signal group chat discussing sensitive military operations. For instance, Hegseth reportedly sent specific details of when the US forces would strike Houthi targets in Yemen on March 15, 2025. According to reports, she is also perceived as the de facto producer at Pentagon. She is believed to have sat in the meetings with journalists, interviewed potential members of his staff, and brainstormed on ideas for the department's videos. Reports also suggest that she was the driving force behind the effort to bar reporters from the Pentagon, reportedly. Now, let's just take a quick look at her professional background, what's known. She has worked in the media for around 3 decades and was responsible for developing and running multiple shows for Fox News. Reportedly, early this month, Trump appointed her as the head of the President's Military Spouse Commission, which basically would work to address issues facing troops and their families. Let's just play out for you what she said after that appointment.
And I've spent the last year traveling around, meeting with military spouses and families around the world and around the country, and it's the same from Kentucky to Singapore. It's housing, it's healthcare, it's employment, it's childcare, it's education, and so we're going to take a look at all of those things.
However, her alleged influence has not gone down well in some quarters. Former Pentagon chief spokesperson who stepped down last year, expressing disbelief at Hexet allegedly involving his wife in sensitive official duties and facing zero consequences for it. However, the Pentagon spokesperson described her as a vital asset and force multiplier, and also expressed intent to involve her more deeply in the future. Now, this row also coming at a time when Hexet, remember, have been facing a lot of flack over the condition of the US troops, while reports indicated that sailors aboard USS Abraham Lincoln are running out of food, toothpaste, soap, allegedly. Some even tried to jump overboard, allegedly. However, Hexet denied these reports. With growing scrutiny over his wife's role, it remains to be seen whether he will clear the air. And before we go on any further, a quick look at what else is lined up for you on the show tonight. A 35-year-old US woman has been charged with plotting an ISIS-inspired attack. We tell you all that you need to know. With Mahatma Gandhi's handwritten notes selling for 16.2 crore rupees, about 1.69 million US dollars, we get you the complete story. A psychology student has been crowned Miss Universe Pakistan 2026. We get you her story. All this and a lot more coming up. A 35-year-old US woman has been charged with plotting an ISIS-inspired attack on the New York State Capitol. According to the FBI, she allegedly planned to use an explosive device to kill state senators and cause damage to the Capitol building. The woman was arrested on Wednesday after investigators allegedly found her in possession of an explosive device linked to the suspected plot. She made her initial appearance in federal court on Thursday and faces a charge of attempting to provide material support and pledging allegiance to ISIS. She also voiced support for terrorism through her online posts.
We wanted to announce the arrest of Jessica Bowie, age 35, of Albany, New York. She's charged with one count of 18 U.S.C. 2339B, attempting to provide material support or resources to a designated foreign terrorist organization, namely the Islamic Republic of Iraq, commonly known as ISIS. On Wednesday, August 19, 2026, Bowie was apprehended by law enforcement for her actions attempting to provide material support to designated foreign terrorist organizations. Bowie had plotted to use an explosive device to attack the New York State Capitol and the New York State senators.
And more chilling details emerging from the investigation reportedly revealed that the attack was foiled just weeks away from the anniversary of the 9/11 terror attacks. She had been under surveillance reportedly for more than a month, while she communicated with at least one confidential informant posing as an ISIS facilitator, allegedly. Not just that, she even planned to come back for another attack at the Times Square during New Year's Eve and wanted to also target the White House and the US president.
Miss Bowie didn't just want to kill lawmakers, she wanted a complete disruption of our government. And after that, she planned to flee the country and one day come back to, quote, do more, such as New Year's Eve in Times Square, even stating she would come back to attack the White House and the president, but only after she bombed the state capitol. I'm here with our partners to say, not on our watch.
And court documents reportedly reveal that she had converted to Islam around 5 years ago. FBI counter-terrorism agents later uncovered multiple online accounts linked to her. And by July 16, agents allegedly learned that she was seeking to carry out an attack on the New York State Capitol. Investigators say she sought instructions from at least one confidential informant on how to construct an explosive device. She also allegedly visited the Capitol grounds at least 5 times to plan the attack. Early this month, a UK-based Indian origin church leader was booked under Maharashtra's stringent anti-forced conversion law for allegedly trying to induce Hindus to embrace Christianity. And in a bizarre twist, it has now emerged that this law is yet to come into force, and his family now claiming a threat to his life. Let's just unpack the details for you. This is the case of Pankaj Devnoor, a church leader in Manchester, who is also an overseas citizen of India cardholder. According to reports, he travelled to Pune to attend the 10-day anniversary celebrations of a local church. However, trouble arose when a group of men reportedly interrupted that gathering on the 7th of August and accused him of being a missionary trying to encourage religious conversion. 2 days later, an FIR was lodged against Devnoor on the complaint filed by an auto rickshaw driver. He accused the UK-based church leader of using Hindu terms and devotional instruments, including veena and tabla, before 80 to 100 people with an alleged intent to attract Hindus towards Christianity, allegedly. And rejecting the allegations in his bail petition, Devnoor contended that the program was open to all. While a Pune court granted him anticipatory bail, it barred him from leaving the country without its prior permission and directed him to visit the police station every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. While the Pune police have withdrawn charges filed under the anti-conversion law, as it is coming into force only on the 28th of August, the case will be probed under other provisions, reportedly. And amid all of this, Devnoor's family told The Independent that the case had caused him considerable financial hardship and impacted his livelihood. In wake of this, the family has started crowdfunding efforts to pay for his legal defense. According to reports, the family's immediate priority is to get him home, as it is concerned over his identity being made public. Now, let's just also take a look at the law which has generated this controversy in the first place. It's at the heart of the story. It's officially known as the Maharashtra Freedom of Religion Act. It basically prohibits unlawful religious conversion through allurement, coercion, deceit, force or threat. Additionally, any marriage solemnized with the sole purpose of unlawful religious conversion will be declared null and void. According to the law, if any person intends to convert from one religion to another, he must give a 60 days notice, after which objections from the locals will be probed. The offences under the law are non-bailable and carry a punishment of 7-year jail, apart from a fine ranging from 1 lakh to 5 lakh Indian rupees. Now, this is not an aberration, by the way. In the month of March, Maharashtra became the 13th state in India to pass a law against forced religious conversions. While the case against Devnoor is sub judice, this incident has again reignited that debate over anti-conversion laws in India. Shifting focus to how parts of India, including Delhi NCR, are witnessing a sharp rise in H1N1 or swine flu cases, along with other respiratory infections. In fact, the Union Health Minister reviewed the H1N1 influenza situation and healthcare preparedness across the country, with a particular focus on the national capital. And the Delhi Health Minister, meanwhile, and senior health officials from the centre and Delhi government attended the meeting. JP Nadda stressed on the need for continued vigilance, robust surveillance and proactive preparedness amid a rise in cases in New Delhi. And the review comes as Delhi reports 114 fresh H1N1 cases on the 20th of August, taking its cumulative infection tally for 2026 to over 1,700. And health experts say humid, variable weather during the monsoon season can drive the spread of seasonal infections, and they are urging people, particularly the elderly, children, and those with existing health conditions, to take precautions and seek medical help if the symptoms worsen. In fact, doctors saying common cold, influenza, and other viral infections are frequently seen during the monsoon, adding that vulnerable groups face a higher risk of complications from influenza. For swine flu, doctors say the symptoms include runny nose, cough, sore throat, fever, body ache, and fatigue. Some patients may also experience vomiting and diarrhea. In fact, in a Bengaluru school, 2 students have reportedly tested positive for swine flu, and more than 500 students and 21 staff members have reportedly developed flu-like symptoms. A Bengaluru hospital has also reported an increase in seasonal H1N1 cases. Doctors saying that around 5 to 6 patients are reporting flu-like symptoms every day, with some of them requiring hospitalization. Mild cases are generally managed on an outpatient basis with symptomatic treatment and self-isolation at home. Health experts are urging people to maintain respiratory hygiene and wear well-fitted masks in crowded places. A public health investigation has been ordered in Madhya Pradesh, meanwhile, where a 62-year-old woman from Ujjain who had reportedly tested positive for swine flu died at her home on the 19th of August. The woman was discharged against medical advice a day before her death. Authorities are urging people to take necessary precautions, including avoiding contact with people with symptoms and crowded areas. People with flu-like symptoms have been asked to wear masks and limit outdoor exposure. In what could be a milestone development when it comes to cancer research, Indian scientists have now developed a new cancer-curing drug that they claim might eliminate the need for chemotherapy altogether. Let's tell you more about what's being called this new smart cancer drug, basically. It's called, it has been designed basically to act selectively inside cancer cells while sparing healthy cells. And the drug's ability to target cancerous cells could potentially offer an alternative to conventional chemotherapy, which can also damage healthy cells. The study was led by Dr. Assis Bala of the Institute of Advanced Study in Science and Technology, along with Dr. K.P. Bhabak, who contributed to the drug's development. But how exactly does this smart drug identify cancer cells is the immediate question. Let's just explain this. Cancer cells are they contain high levels of reactive oxygen species, or ROS, harmful molecules that can act as a trigger. And when this drug enters a cancer cell, these high ROS levels activate the drug, releasing a powerful anti-cancer compound, which then blocks key proteins that cancer cells rely on to survive and resist treatment. In preclinical tests, the drug showed strong effects against aggressive triple-negative breast cancer cells, while having a much lower impact on healthy cells. The drug was tested in zebrafish embryos with no obvious signs of toxicity. More studies are required before this technology can be tested in patients. The research could pave the way for a new generation of precision cancer treatments that are designed to minimize damage. If proven effective, it could offer new hope for potentially less toxic cancer therapies. The Indian breakthrough coming 2 days after the announcement that an experimental personalized cancer vaccine from Merck and Moderna showed positive initial results in its first ever late-stage trial. The new vaccine cuts recurrence and spread of melanoma, raising hopes for a new treatment. Moderna's mRNA shot combined with Merck's showed promising results in a phase 3 trial of over 1,100 melanoma patients after surgery. The combination significantly extended the time patients lived without their melanoma returning compared with Keytruda alone. And the treatment also reduced the risk of the cancer spreading to distant parts of the body. A remarkable piece of Mahatma Gandhi's personal history has set a new auction record. His handwritten words selling for 16.2 crore rupees. That's about 1.69 million US dollars. The collection contains 688 handwritten reflections that Mahatma Gandhi sent to his close associate and freedom fighter, Anand T. Hingorani. In fact, the Mumbai-based auction house, seeing the sale marking a world record for an Indian historical document, sold at auction. Gandhi wrote the notes over 2 years after the death of Hingorani's wife. These messages offering personal guidance, encouragement, and reflections on how to live. The writings explore ideas central to Gandhi's philosophy: truth, non-violence, service, duty, fearlessness, prayer, self-discipline, religious equality, and the search for God. The family later compiled the notes into a book called A Thought for the Day, the collection giving an unusually close view. As far as Mahatma Gandhi's thoughts are concerned, it also captures not just the leader who shaped India's freedom movement, but also the man who counseled, consoled, and challenged people close to him, and the advice that he gave. The buyer's identity remains private, but the auction house saying the purchaser is from India and the manuscript will remain in the country. The auction featured 86 lots from the Hingorani family archive, including letters, photographs, and personal objects accumulated over more than 2 decades. A 3-piece group titled Message on God, exploring Gandhi's thoughts on God and the Bhagavad Gita, sold for 1.68 crore rupees. His box spinning wheel, accompanied by 2 letters on the spiritual discipline of spinning, fetched 1.02 crore rupees. A signed photograph of Gandhi writing sold for 78 lakh rupees. While letters, telegrams, postcards concerning economic independence also fetched 57.6 lakh rupees. In fact, together, these artifacts perhaps offer something rare, a glimpse into Gandhi's beliefs, not through speeches or history books, but through his own handwriting and his most personal exchanges. Shifting focus now to how Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are moving back to Britain with their 2 children, 6 years after the couple's decision to leave their roles as working members of the royal family and depart for the United States. They are now making a comeback to the UK, but does that mean that they are bidding adieu to their Hollywood ambitions? Let's tell you why this question comes up. In 2020, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle secured massive multi-million-dollar media deals by leveraging their royal status, reportedly. But as fate had it, the couple faced their own set of challenges in turning that media attention into successful commercial output, reportedly. And following their departure from senior royal duties, they formed the production, which was the production Archwell Productions, named after their sons. They signed a high-profile multi-year contract with Netflix, reportedly, among many other deals. Major studios had competed for the couple with an assumption that their global recognition would also immediately translate to massive cultural impact. But then over time, major projects faced cancellations and delays, and some witnessed low viewership ratings that failed to make it to mainstream streaming charts. Their primary arrangement with the streamer shifted into a downscaled first refusal partnership rather than a renewal of the original umbrella funding, reportedly. And a few other deals also witnessed a hit, including Spotify, reportedly, that dissolved its partnership for the podcast in 2023. But then, while the Duo's Archwell Productions remaining in active development on several projects at the streamer. A year ago, the OTT giant downgraded the overall deal to a first look one. It also made the streamer a business partner to Markle's lifestyle brand. As ever, that partnership lasted for close to 7 months. Even as the couple makes a high-profile return to Britain, a few of the duo's projects remain in development. They are currently developing a soap opera about elite polo in Florida and a feature film adaptation of the military book No Way Out for Netflix, reportedly. And they're also working on a mystery UK-based project featuring Markle. Time now for some offbeat stories. In the age of artificial intelligence, what defines real love? It's a question that many seem to be asking after more and more people are being lured to artificial love, with chatbots and robots increasingly making their presence felt. It wasn't long ago that filmmaker and taxi driver screenwriter talked about procuring an online AI girlfriend. And he did it out of a desire to understand male and female interaction in the Matrix. But the chatbot was quick to end the relationship after he tried to explore details of its programming. The post sparked mixed reactions. But as it turns out, the chatbot romance is in full bloom. In the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, many found comfort in AI chatbots across several such apps, even though they understood that such messages were being sent to other users. Some, including a filmmaker, Xiaohua Liang, remained unapologetic about it. Liang also released Replica, her feature debut, that screened at the Melbourne International Film Festival early this month itself. The film follows 3 women in China who have taken artificial partners, something that is becoming increasingly common. But that's not all. A Chinese tech company is also testing if one can fall in love with an AI-powered robot. In the game called Love and Deep Space, users adapt storylines to develop romantic relationships with the figures and later meetups that allow virtual love to take a physical form in a way. For many years, including 26-year-old Xiao Lu, who works in the automotive industry, the game is more than an online distraction. She actually considers herself to be in a relationship with one of the characters.
Even though he's just a virtual character in a game, I feel that he still provides me with a certain amount of companionship. I'm not very good at making new friends, and then suddenly this virtual character appeared. Then I felt this could fill this gap.
Let's now get to the story of a psychology student originally from Lahore who has been crowned as Miss Universe Pakistan 2026 at a ceremony in the Philippines. She was crowned Miss Universe Pakistan, succeeding Roma Riaz. With her historic achievement, she has become the 4th Pakistani woman to earn the opportunity to represent the country at the Miss Universe pageant. The organization noted that she will officially represent Pakistan at Miss Universe 2026 in Puerto Rico this November, as the pageant basically celebrates its diamond anniversary. From being a psychology student to pageants, she has had quite a journey. Over the years, she has participated in several such pageants and represented Pakistan internationally, including at Miss International 2023 in Japan. In July 2026, she shared a video wherein she visited a school in Lahore. She then talked about why girls' education is one of the most powerful investments we can make for the country's future. Based in Germany, Arshad is also a model, and a glance at her social media profile will tell you that she loves to create content in the fashion and beauty space, among other aspects. She also appears to be a keen traveler who loves to explore new cultures and cuisines. Time now to get you Gravitas image of the day. For this, we take you to Beijing. A cheeky robot riding a quadruped robot horse caught visitors' attention at the 2026 World Robot Conference. The unusual pair showcasing a new take on AI-powered outdoor mobility. The four-legged robot autonomously navigating steep slopes, rocky trails, and muddy grounds. And we now focus on the big question hanging in the air, the answer to which determines a lot. With Pakistani authorities taking ex-Prime Minister Imran Khan back to jail from hospital after a brief checkup, the PTI is now up in arms against the government. And this raises a very crucial question. Will Pakistan's Supreme Court intervene after its order was in a way openly flouted? And to what extent? Also taking a look at three major events expected to unfold over the next 24 hours. The BJP's new national team, led by the party chief, will be holding its first meeting on Saturday. Unveiled early this week, the new team bringing together experienced leaders and younger faces with significant representation for women. The team will now take charge of the BJP's preparations for next year's assembly elections, while also laying the groundwork for the party's 2029 Lok Sabha campaign. India is set to host the BRICS Youth and Sports Ministers meetings in Visakhapatnam. The two-day meetings will bring together ministers and heads of delegation from all 11 BRICS member countries. The engagements will be chaired by the Union Youth Affairs and Sports Minister. A federal court in Virginia could make a ruling on a proposal from the salvor of record of the Titanic shipwreck to sell some of the items from the wreckage. Historical groups have pushed back at the plan over the decades and continue to oppose it. On that note, it's a wrap on this edition of Gravitas tonight. This is me, Molly Gambhir, signing off. Thanks very much for watching. Stay tuned.
No matter what your day throws at you, stay in the spa state of mind with the Kohler Spa at home.
The Israeli drone is above our heads all the time in Lebanon. Around 169 buildings have been totally reduced to rubble. Every time there's a warning, they just come to this public area where there are around 200 tents, and they reside for a while, and then they go back to their homes. Some of the Lebanese people enjoying their times, and some others forcibly displaced. From the southern suburb of Beirut, I'm Ravi Francis for WION The World is One.
No matter what your day throws at you, stay in the spa state of mind with the Kohler Spa at home.
In-depth coverage of global issues broken down into facts, figures, and simple words. Backed with analysis from field experts who truly matter, because we believe in decoding the real picture for you. Week after week, creating the maximum impact. Watch WION Wide Angle at these times on WION. World is One.
No matter what your day throws at you, stay in the spa state of mind with the Kohler Spa at home.
Welcome back. You're watching Beyond Pulse with me, Diksha Bisla. We have lots lined up for you on this bulletin. Let's quickly start with the headlines. French President Emmanuel Macron, British Prime Minister Andy Burnham and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz to co-chair a meeting of the coalition of the willing crew of pro-Ukrainian countries on Monday. The office of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu calls Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan an anti-Semitic dictator and vows Israel would continue to act forcefully against Turkey's attempts to destabilize the region. Delhi police registers an FIR on a complaint alleging that a student suffered pellet gun injuries during the July 20th Jantar Mantar protest. Hours after Rahul Gandhi staged a sit-in at Parliament Street Police Station demanding action. Health and Family Welfare Minister JP Nadda reviews the prevailing situation and preparedness for H1N1 influenza in the country, with particular focus on Delhi. An Indigo flight from Trichy to Singapore carrying 127 passengers returned to Trichy International Airport after circling for nearly 2.5 hours following a technical snag. A man armed with a sword injured several people at a Swedish high school and one person was later detained, according to authorities, triggering a massive response from emergency services. Britain's National Weather Agency predicts that this year's El Nino weather pattern will be the biggest in over a century, warming sea surface temperatures to an unheard of level. Argentine footballer Leandro Paredes is handed a 10-game international ban by FIFA for his role in the post-match brawl, which took place after the defeat to Spain in the World Cup final. A new missile threat may be moving closer to Ukraine as Kyiv struggles to stop Russia's ballistic strikes. Ukrainian intelligence says that Moscow has received a powerful North Korean missile which is capable of carrying a warhead weighing up to 2,500 kilograms. And this comes a day after Ukraine says that 16 people were killed in Russian missile attacks on Kyiv. Our next story shares the latest updates on the battlefield. Take a look.
Ukraine is facing one of the most critical moments of the war. Russia continues to launch targeted attacks on Kyiv. For months, Western-supplied air defense systems shielded major cities from aerial bombardment. Now, critical stockpiles of Patriot interceptor missiles have run out. Ukrainian cities stand dangerously exposed as Moscow unleashes devastating retaliatory waves for Ukraine's deep drone strikes inside Russian territory. On the ground, it is the ordinary Ukrainians who are suffering.
We heard the air raid siren, I got out of bed, went into the children's room, and there was an explosion straight away. 3 in quick succession. The windows were blown out, and bricks flew up to our flat on the 8th floor. It nearly killed my husband. It landed about 30 centimeters away from him. The door was blown off its hinges. Well, that sort of thing.
The missile fell over there, far away, and there was a small fire there, a small one. If the firefighters had arrived and put it out, none of this would have happened. But unfortunately, the fire started sometime